All right, fellers, we're back with more Hasan. I'm gonna be on. Well, it's a Willie Mac video. Sorry, I gotta get the Willie Mac hat. Actually, I think it says Hasan on it. Piker USA. Incredible. See that? It's a comfortable hat. You get it at the Willie Mac store. Anyway, it was a Christmas present. Anyway, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a little Hasan burnt out, but I'm curious about this video because I like Willie Mac, and there's nothing better to do. To be honest with you, there's not a lot going on, so we're gonna check this out. Don't put too much energy into it. This isn't a Hasan call out from me. I'm just looking forward to watching something. So yeah, let's get into it. Before we do, really quick, if any moment in this video resonates with you, do me a favor and just timestamp it below. Funny, interesting, I'd say intelligent, but you can never get that at a pop gut. I'd appreciate it a lot. Anyway, let's get this party started.
Resume. Hasan Piker is the most prominent left-leaning streamer online. His debate resume includes Asmongold, a 16-year-old Israeli kid, and me, where his only defense for his continually poor reporting is saying it's all out of context.
He did talk to Andrew Tate, which, by the way, is one of the academics of our generation.
The reason why I said this, and you do this regularly, okay? When I say something on the stream, okay, oftentimes, especially if it's a developing story.
How do you know I say this stuff?
Especially if it's a developing
yeah, that does hurt him a little bit if he didn't actually watch the video.
Story. If I misspeak, apparently you can use it in your commentary as though it's like super serious. So anyway.
I didn't name one example that I did that.
I don't know. I don't watch your videos, so.
Yeah, so don't make shit up.
He's very critical of other people's debating skills. His grand advice to Destiny when debating Ben Shapiro was to call Ben a fascist.
Oh my God, dude. Dude, this is why you need to be a little bit more educated.
Yeah, man, call Ben a fashionable guy. Because he does look good. You can't criticize that. He's a good-looking man.
Okay, he's a fascist. Him bringing up.
Listen, don't criticize me. All right, I want to start making clips for my videos. Shorter little clips that are funny. But I don't know what's funny to myself. I think everything I do is funny. So my wife said, "Listen, why don't you ask people the timestamp? Because you think everything you do is funny. Because you're a little full of yourself." And I said, "That's true. Good advice, babe." So that's why I asked you guys. All right. So shut the front door. All right.
Germany is a moral regression is an awesome point. What do you say in that situation? You turn around and go, yeah, that's exactly the kind of moral regression you're advocating for in the United States of America when you want to have these like insane regressions on culture and on civil society.
The moral regression Ben was advocating for was a two-parent household, just like those evil Germans.
Dude, I would destroy Ben on Israel-Palestine. I'm serious.
I doubt that. Like, listen, listen, you guys know I lean a little more towards Israel. I like having a nice, strong front in the Middle East, a Western front. I think it's good to get our morals and exposure over there. Loving gay people. They're the freest country over there, I would say. But there are things to criticize. I'm not going to get into a debate about it. I don't care. I really have no interest in getting into this whole big thing about it. That being said, I don't think that Hasan is exactly the best representation of anything. I mean, he doesn't really... what does he do? He just browses Twitter for non-verifiable sources and says this is a fact, LOL. So I feel like there's probably better people than Hasan to maybe take the lead on that conversation, but hey, what the fuck do I know?
Serious. He is so bad.
When given the chance to destroy someone that's about as intellectually honest as himself, Hasan loses it on international television.
I don't condemn the idea. I've got two panelists here who've not had a word.
This whole thing was a train wreck, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think everybody was just a train wreck there.
Because you're a Please stop talking.
Forcing the debate to end early.
Cut off their food. Cut off their water. Okay.
Based.
Yeah, the slight
You know what?
addition.
I'm going to cut off this debate.
79% of their electricity. The rest is Hamas.
I'm going to cut off the
That's
debate
not
because
Israel.
we're getting
Israel
absolutely
provides-
nowhere. But I appreciate everybody joining me. Thank you.
Wow, it's crazy that Piers is the most mature person in the room on that one.
Thank you very much indeed.
He famously did a fluff piece for the Houthi terrorists, giving their pirating operation the stamp of approval from him and his entire audience.
That's so fire. Oh my God. Dude, we think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
Hasan will get so much backlash for this.
Yeah, probably not good to attack trade routes. It increases the prices of all of our stuff. Makes it more expensive because there needs to be more protection on it. So
He would rewrite history only a month later, acting like he never knew this kid was a pirate.
I had a random teenager from Yemen on this broadcast, and these dipshits literally kept saying he's an anti-Semitic, homophobic, gay people executing terrorist Houthi who killed probably a bunch of fucking sailors. Random Yemeni teenager.
He literally talks about being...
I think he was kind of... Didn't he say he was a pirate? He was very handsome, though. So I guess if you're handsome, you can get away with it. Thank you for the $5. Music Books Explain Hey Pop. A big ups of getting that ad gig. I've been seeing you all over Reddit and the data annotation ads. Seriously, what the fuck are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm assuming it's a meme. Okay.
being a Houthi on his social media, saying you should only be afraid if you're a Jew. And
Send me that meme, dude. Send me that meme.
When it comes to engaging with different points of view or criticism, Hasan is as dishonest as ever.
Shouldn't you be trying to convince these people of the right thing instead of ostracizing them? Man, suck my fucking dick, dumb. These people are brain broken. You don't know what the you're talking about.
This is gonna be a classic. That's the thing. There's a lot of dishonest folks on the internet that you have to protect yourself from, like data brokers who steal your information and sell it to spammers and scammers online. Your full
I love that, guys. I love it.
name, home address, health records, family members, it's all out there. That's why I use Aura, the
Shit, if you're gonna access my health records, pay them. Pay my bills. You know what I'm saying?
sponsor in today's video. Aura automatically submits opt-out requests to these sites, which would otherwise be impossible to do. As you can see, I've had over 15 data brokers selling my phone number and address online.
Oh shit, I don't think it's worth very much, guys. Sorry.
Leading these annoying robocalls, ringing my phone 5 times a day, and leaving me open to being doxxed. This not only limits the amount of spam I get, but it also protects me from hackers who could use this information to
Well, me personally, I don't want to limit the amount of spam I get because I love spam and I love the jelly that's at the top of the spam when you open the container. Not really there anymore, but on the generic versions of it, it's all over the place, baby. It's fucking incredible.
access my social media or bank accounts. Just this year, AT&T had a massive data breach of over 73 million former and current customers, exposing their personal information to the dark web. This is why you have to protect yourself
Yeah, I don't like dark things. They scare me.
online. It also comes with an antivirus, a VPN, password management system, and more without having to download all these other apps. It's all in one place. You may have 1 or 2 of these tools already, but not having Aura is like locking the front door but leaving the back wide open, and it comes at a much cheaper price. Go to aura.com/WillyMac to start your 14-day free trial to see if your information is getting leaked. It almost certainly is. Thank you, Aura, for sponsoring this video.
You guys know the deal. We got to play the full ad, usually, when we react to someone else's video. It's just right.
I've been working a long time now. I've been working for free.
You see Hasan streaming other people's videos all the time. It's hard work. He's really exhausted by it.
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be real with you. I'm a little bored of the Hasan hard work debate, right? Like, the reality is Hasan was insensitive when he said it because he compared himself to other jobs when he has a very easy job where he could simply just not stream as much. He took an exclusivity contract with Twitch. And he decided like that he would work 8 hours a day when he doesn't have to, especially in today's day and age. You don't need to stream 8, 9, 10 hours a day. You stream like roughly 4 hours a day with a solid content strategy, and you're gonna probably do better. You're better off focusing your time, efforts, and energy on other things like not being burnt out and getting clip work up and other content as well. You know, so his misspeak was being disconnected by comparing himself to other jobs, but like he was right in the sense that like, yes, this can be a socially draining job, right? That's it. But when that happens to me and I don't feel like streaming, I just don't. I'm very fortunate. It's the easiest job I've ever had. You know, and I'm just like personally, when it comes to that, I just feel like for me, you know, I feel like I don't know. It's like keep talking about it, but yeah.
Claimed that streaming was more soul-sucking and draining on his social battery than a normal job.
Yes, a real job can be gruesome. A real job can make you very tired. But
a real job can't afford you a Rolex hat.
Real job doesn't suck the soul out of you. You know what I mean? In the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will.
Yeah, and the biggest disconnected point of that is that it doesn't take into account the outside of work effect, right? Like the inside of work effect. Like let's say everybody made the same money, he might have an argument. Maybe like 9 hours. If let's say everybody made $1 million, whether you streamed or whether you worked at like McDonald's as a cashier, maybe, I don't know. But a really great part about making a lot of money is that that's the most of the sucking of the soul comes from 2 places. 1, not making enough money. 2, my wife. Sexually. She doesn't suck the soul out of me in like a bad way. I want to make that clear. I love my wife. Okay. Anyway, damn, nobody sent that to her. Anyway, like that's a huge part of it. Like I remember working a real job and it sucks, man. Like when you're making money and it's all gone before you get your next paycheck, you know, it's just, it burns you out when you're thousands of dollars in debt. That's the real soul sucking part. You know, nowadays when I don't feel like streaming, I just like, bleh, I just am blah, you know, realistically, I'm just fucking lazy, you know, but for a lot of other people, it's the stress of not being able to like afford to live. And, you know, for somebody who does advocate for progressive values, like not taking that into account there is silly. Like the only soul sucking to him is like, I worked this long for this day. But it's like, yeah, what about the financial soul suck? Like that's huge. So like, yeah, I think that I think that's where like those are the spots where you see the disconnect from Hasan of like to regular people.
I sympathize that every line of work is going to have its days where it's hard, but comparing streaming in any way to a real job is so out of touch, especially coming from the guy who leaves to eat midstream while other people's videos play.
Shoot, I leave to piss. Diabetes.
Hasan would obviously get a lot of heat for that, so he'd quote tweet me saying, "It's wild how this completely out of context clip made its way to Twitter so fast. I was talking about how streaming eats away at my social battery compared to my sales job."
Yeah, I remember seeing that. It didn't really do him much credit to explain it.
But people already understand the context, they just disagree. His own chat disagrees.
Yeah, just stream less, brother.
Comparing it to retail work,
I gotta start streaming more. When I don't have anything to talk about, my wife said I should just come on and talk to you guys for a couple hours. So I'm gonna try to do that more often. I gotta stop being so fucking lazy. I'm giving myself a break this week because I threw my back out, but you know, because it hurts even to sit in this. It's hurt. My job is so hard. I gotta sit in this chair. This lazy boy chair. It's pretty comfortable, actually.
It's just so funny. He's trying to get his chat to ratio me on stream while they're telling him he has a bad take.
Pass. It was a bad take. Let's just move on.
True. Sometimes you just have a bad take.
Because imagine a soul-crushing job and then you still don't have money to take care of your family. Yeah, I famously say work is not soul-crushing. I don't understand. This is why people stop watching. No, man. It's not because of hater content that people stop watching. Your chat is not even on your side with the... The real reason why people stop watching is because shit like this pops, dude. It bangs.
She bangs. You know what's really interesting? My toilet bowl downstairs and upstairs both had the clog in them. And the one upstairs unclogged itself magically, and I couldn't figure out why. I think it's like I turned off the water, and then when I turned it back on, I guess the surge of water might have done it. I don't know. But the downstairs bathroom was clogged, and it's been clogged. But today I was downstairs doing some offline work before streaming. I had to poop so bad. And against my better judgment, I said, I'm just going to poop down here because my back hurts. I don't want to walk all the way upstairs just to take a poopy. So I laid out a pretty nice meal for the toilet bowl, and I went to flush, and it went from a partial clog where water would slowly go down to fully clogged. You know, we're talking about Armageddon levels of water rising above the toilet. So I went, oh my God, I just fucked this. I did something terrible. So I decided I got the plunger and I went in there. I started pumping. I got in there and like a nice suction hold. I was going in, there's water shooting all over the place. I could hear the shower drain going. That sounds like a Star Wars character. I just keep going. I flush and it's like, it didn't really do anything. So I just keep doing it again and again and again. And eventually, beautiful, warm rush of water spiraling down the toilet. I unclogged my toilet and I realized, and this is a little bit of advice for you guys. Okay, this one's going to be advice. If your toilet's partially clogged, fully clog it, and then go in there with the plunger. Because going in there with the plunger when it was only partially clogged, it didn't work. But once it was fully clogged, I guess like the air pressure was like building up, and it blasted the water. I'm just giving you advice. Because I was about to call a fucking plumber and spend $200 or $300 to get him to come over here with a goddamn poop snake. So that's, I'm just giving you legitimate adult advice. If you don't like it, okay, that's your problem. All right.
It bangs on Twitter. It's like,
she bang.
And new people that would normally filter in here are immediately fucking negatively polarized against me. That's it.
When people would ask Hasan what he thought of the criticism, he would say that he's too much of an adult to be bothered by it.
Where do you see what we take? I did not look at any of these takes. You want to know why? Because I'm a motherfucking adult who lives in the real world.
I mean, you're a Twitch streamer. Neither of us are really living in the real world. Thank you for the $5. Blake is baked. Love your videos, Papa. Thanks for being my second favorite fat guy, besides myself, of course. Incredible. I love the self-love, brother. I really do.
And it doesn't matter.
But as the stream progressed, it became increasingly obvious that it definitely did bother him. Muda would point out that even with that extra context, he still disagrees. And Hasan would say Muda is just posturing.
It's honestly posturing specifically to be like, I, as an online content creator, am very close to you guys. I'm just like you. I hate when streamers say stuff like this. I'm very different. And it's like, bro, you understand the context of it.
What is he saying? Seeing the origin of discourse still has me disagreeing. I don't doubt the social barrier draining, but in most jobs, you don't have the luxury of turning off a stream or blocking out people. YouTube is my job. 6 days I'm up early from sunrise to sunset. Okay. I mean, I don't know how true that is with Mudahari. He makes a lot of money on YouTube, but, you know, I guess 7-Elevens do still need to kind of, somebody needs to run them, all right?
Streamers say stuff
Sorry,
like this.
I'm just joking. Okay.
I'm very different. And it's like, bro, you understand the context of it. It doesn't... You understand the context of what I said. You see that it's like clipped out of context, and then you double down on the the clipping out of context, and you say, well, even in context, it's still stupid.
He then pulls up Muda's tweets on Palestine to discredit him and show
I'm actually mature adult. He says while wearing fake neck tattoos. Oh, there's fake neck tattoos? Oh, okay, that's weird.
that he's a bad person.
That's crazy that the fucking fence is holding him. That's crazy. He's sitting hard on that thing, dude. He's like,
on streams, I've maintained that this is a conflict that shouldn't exist, with both the death toll rising and since displaced. I would hope the conflict ends at some point, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, sure, me too, I guess.
this genocide stuff is very complex.
But Hasan would hit a boiling point when Ludwig
The situation is complex. If you say it's not, you're a baby, so.
would upload a video disagreeing with him.
There ain't no fucking way MAGA Male made a huge streaming controversy video. There's no fucking way. This motherfucker avoided, like the plague, 8 Nick Merckx LGBT controversies, only to turn around and make a MAGA Male. What is the thumbnail?
What the fuck are we talking about?
Let me see this. Streaming is the hardest job on earth.
Damn. Oh, yeah, I heard a little bit about how he got Ludwig to take his video down because he cried about it. That's what adults do. They cry. Because it's my party. And I'll cry if I want to. He's got a little bit of that carrot top thing going. Broccoli head. That's what they call it. They don't call it carrot top. They call it broccoli head, you know?
He's so mad. So Ludwig shows all the context and he still disagrees, making a lighthearted joke about Hasan. And Hasan feels devastated.
But I wanted to talk about this. As a streamer myself.
I want to talk about this as a streamer myself. I don't know. Sorry. I'm being
For
silly.
almost 6
I don't dislike this guy. I don't know. I'm just being stupid.
years now on how hard it really is. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I would look. I just
There are things about streaming that make it like there are some things about streaming that are uniquely difficult to other jobs. But overall, it's 10,000 times better than anything that you guys have to do every day. It's fucking incredible. Like, it gets annoying when you say something, even in context, because people are going in on Hasan over this thing. Like, in my opinion, too long. Like, the discourse is like, who gives a shit anymore? Like, Hasan's disconnected. Obviously, he's not like in touch with fucking the average person, you know. But people, even justifiable criticism is always disproportionate, and it gets like annoying when you have to hear the bad thing you said 10 years ago about 9/11. Like, I can imagine that too. Like, you know, it gets annoying when people will still bring up shit that like I did like 3 or 4 years ago, especially now that I'm gaining some popularity back on TikTok. Gut_tube. So those things exist, but like if you're doing well financially, those are great. That's a good part. You know, for where I am, you know, it could all end tomorrow and I don't have the money. I'd have to go back and get a real job, so that would suck. But if, like for Hasan, like he could just stop right now and he's done. He's good, you know. But yeah, like nobody cares about the streamer struggle. Absolutely. Like, why would you? Why the fuck would you care about this struggle? You should. I mean, there's no reason to, you know, because it's better than it's easier than any other job. It's like, here's another thing that sucks about streaming. I have to pay my quarterly taxes. Okay, that's a pain in the ass. Guys, I gotta pay my own fucking taxes quarterly. What the fuck? I should do a tutorial on how to do that, because I was paying H&R Block to do it for 1 year and they did a terrible fucking job and it was a pain in the ass. But it's very easy. You can just do it yourself.
Oh god, it just annoys me because like it's such a fake fucking thing to do. It's just literally using someone who you're friends with, like being maliciously clipped out of context to be like, I'm actually one of the good content creators.
Hasan takes these so poorly.
I know how privileged I am. It's like, yeah, I do too.
When Hasan says something is out of context, it's never missing context. It just means they disagree with him. Hasan would go full mad.
Yeah, a lot of people do that when they they'll just say no, it's out of context because they don't feel like you understand where they're coming from. So they'll say it's out of context, but they just don't like that you're not getting where they're coming from.
Pissed off when an audience member pointed this out.
Yeah, it's like no different than what Muda did. He showed the
True, it's like a retired person coming out about how busy they are. That's why I always make fun of my mom. She's retired and she's just bored all the time. And I just say, you're fucking bored. Why are you doing all this work around the house? She's fucking bored. Or I'll say like, can you do this thing for me because you have nothing better to do? I don't give a fuck. She always does it because I'm just busting her balls.
Thanks though. It doesn't matter that he showed the context. It's just a way to just literally farm off the fucking drama.
Well, then don't say it's out of context. Hasan doesn't have any way to really defend himself, so he mauls and then just goes back to saying everything's out of context.
Does he watch the full video or does he skip through it in a stupor, in an angry stupor? Because you'd think that if somebody that like you're supposedly friends with criticizes you, at the very least, maybe you, especially if it's a reason, it's not even like the topic is streaming. Is it lazy? You know, it's not exactly the most controversial topic. Like you'd imagine you'd sit there and listen to it, especially if it's compacted into a 12-minute bit. I mean, if I had a friend that like did the same thing I did, where I reacted to full videos, like obviously I'm not going to sit there and fucking watch your video. I don't have time. I have time for it. I'm just not going to do it. But like you have a 12-minute video from a friend of yours, why don't you just watch it and just be like, just think about it. Be a little introspective. Just be like, okay, let me see where you're coming from. Take that deep breath, focus and control your anger. You know, do all that stuff.
I got used like a cum rag for a Rocket Mortgage ad, dude. Come on. Dude, come on, bro. Don't farm me like that. Jesus Christ. That's lame as fuck, actually. Like, I thought he was at least gonna, for a good cause at least. Yeah, dude, he's a great cause. He threw me to the flames, posted a fucking Twitter, a fake tweet, said that, you know, we are so privileged, actually, which he's right, we are. He just said it was out of context, farmed me regardless, moved on to be like, look how nice I am, and sold a fucking Rocket Mortgage ad in the process.
The Sun would end his stream and his fans
Damn, but doesn't he have to pay the money back though? Didn't he like get rid of the video, or he edited it up?
would try to pressure Ludwig into taking down the video.
You should call Hasan and apologize. Why is Hasan mad? What did I do?
Oh no. Fucking bad.
What did I do? Because I'm a mogul male?
Did call Hasan, he's crying unironically.
Hard for views?
Bro, I'm seeing this like it's Destiny and Hasan are about to clash hard. There's something's gonna happen, and you know, in my opinion, I'm excited to see it. I can't wait to view it. But if I was friends with either of these individuals, personally, I don't know. I feel like I would want to distance myself because I like Destiny more. I think he's a very intelligent person when it comes to his politics, but he could be a bit immature sometimes. You know, so this whole explosion, I don't want to be caught in the fallout. I just want to watch and laugh and move on from it. You know, I'm not doing the pick a side, you two, predators, or, you know what I mean? It's just going to be a fucking explosion, and it's going to be catastrophic for everybody around the world. I don't know why I feel like this is going to be Planet of the Apes. Okay. Something crazy is about to go on.
Well, I mean, shit, if that's the deal, I'll just fucking pull him out of the thumbnail, and then I feel like it doesn't really matter much, right? I feel like outside the thumbnail, you can't really make that argument much.
But this wouldn't be enough for him, so Ludwig would take down the video and re-record the whole thing, siding with Hasan the whole time.
People don't really give a shit about the context. People don't really give a shit about the conversation. They just care about getting Twitter likes, which is all this really is, which is why people like Keemstar are tweeting out like this, just, you know, just for a dunk sesh.
Out of all the streamers below, which one is the most annoying? Oh, I thought for some reason, I like out of the corner of my eye, I thought one of those was Fosh, and I was like, oh, okay, interesting.
Nobody gives a fucking shit. Nobody gives a rat's ass about the facts or about any people involved. They just care about a little Twitter, like little impression.
Ludwig got a single DM that said no balls, and then showed a tweet about bringing assassinations back. For some reason, acting like this was a serious threat.
And this is the one that sent me over the edge.
Someone said Mr. Penis Head. That was the name of the person?
Now, this is a DM from a guy that just said no balls.
Okay.
Because I removed the video. Again, what the fucking plan to re-upload the video? But he messages me and he says no balls. Now,
it's kind of funny. It's just stupid. No
you
balls.
know, by itself, you don't think much of it. But then,
guys, this is this tough part about being a streamer. It's no balls.
I clicked on his Twitter account and I see that he said this: "Wish assassinations were a real thing." This isn't a quote retweet.
They are a real thing, aren't they? Oh, maybe he's saying he wishes that it was legal. Okay.
Two people in this situation. Not trying to say who. Not trying to get demonetized here. But what a fucking crazy thing for Mr. Penis Head to say. What?
Mr. Penis Head. Well, you know, he is Mr. Penis Head. Sounds like a wild guy.
Why is it crazy? His name is Mr. Penis Head. It's got a single like, and Ludwig's virtue signaling got
It's fucking Mr. Penis Head. It's the Streisand effect, dude. He just fucking signal boosted Mr. Penis Head. Now Mr. Penis Head is the most prolific content creator in the entire world.
How un-American this guy is.
Can now be a guy who's wishing for assassinations, because why? The guy you don't like online is millionaire? Said something you don't like?
Yeah, man. Guys, we shouldn't have millionaires as long as we have homeless people. Clap for me. Woo! We probably shouldn't, but if I do become a millionaire, I will not be helping the homeless. I'm just gonna be. I'm sorry. I don't know. You know, I'll pay my taxes. Raise my taxes. I don't want to deal with it. You know what I mean? Get the fuck out of here.
It's the most un-American thing I ever.
Thank you for the $2 from the Grim Retails. New viewer from YouTube, or VT. What is VT? Binging your backlog. I appreciate that. What is VT though? But thank you so much. I mean, maybe you meant YouTube. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
I've heard of my fucking life. What's more beautiful about being an American than seeing someone you don't fucking like, but they're allowed to say whatever the fuck you don't like?
What?
Blows my mind.
Why are we taking Mr. Penis Head's joke tweets so serious?
I can't. When somebody says the word penis, it makes me giggle. I'm so immature.
Hasan's literally tweeted a picture of the same 3D printed gun that was used to assassinate the former Japanese prime minister.
Yeah, that was probably over the line. Oh, Virginia Tech. Virgin's Tech. What are you saying? That's not Vermont. You're a fucking asshole. So, dude, why are you from Vermont? Thank you. I appreciate that. You're not the asshole. I was like, what are Virginia Tech? I thought you were talking about like YouTube or something, or like TikTok or like Instagram. Thank you for the 2-month small gut from Brother Lady. Okay. Balls? Incredible.
And he did
Vosh's Twitch.
this to a United States senator. But
Yeah, that's probably over the line. He should have got some kind of like suspension for that. I wonder why they didn't do that. That was a dog whistle, guys.
Mr. Penis said it way too far. Ludwig's a coward for taking this video down. It's so funny to me that Hasan has this expectation that his friends need to defend him at every turn for every dumb thing he says.
You got to give Destiny credit on that. Like he's fine with his friends criticizing me. You know, it probably sucks. It probably feels bad when it happens. You know, especially the way the internet works. But he seems to be pretty desensitized to it, to the point where he's like, I just don't care anymore. So, you know, God bless.
Vosh's community makes fun of Hasan for his poor coverage of Ukraine, and Hasan wants it down.
This is not a leftist
Oh yeah, the Ukraine thing again. Yeah.
community at all, for the record. I don't know. I really thought so. I reached out to Vosh earlier today. I was like, listen, dude.
Yeah. His whole original thing was that like Russia had the right to steal land from Ukraine because there were Russians there, but he ignored the history of like Russia genociding like Ukrainians through like literal starvation, so they could take the mountain and implant Russians to be able to have like a land claim to that area.
I see something going on that I don't like. I'm letting you know it's a never-ending death spiral. It will turn out bad if you just like allow this kind of shit to foster. And he was like, he was literally like, yeah, no, f off. Like these were legitimate criticisms.
No, fuck off, dude. I'm watching short stack goblins touching horse wiener.
I was like, bro, they were literally clipping shit from my Twitter where I was criticizing Russia to make it seem like I was pro-Russia. How is that in any way, shape, or form legitimate criticism?
He's lying again, saying it's out of context when it's not. I have a whole video documenting it. XQC ranks Hasan a little lower on a tier list, and Hasan cries about it.
Like, whenever your chat was
I remember this. This is silly.
like calling me out or whatever, when mentioning Moon and NMP Lol, Asmon
Fuck is Moon?
Gold, and all these other content creators actually, you know, whipping their communities when their chat is going absolutely bananas over random dumb shit and bringing my name up for no fucking reason. And I thought,
why does he get so sensitive? Like, you think he would have built up an immunity to it, you know?
that for the past year, you were just allowing that shit to run rampant in your chat, and I thought that was fucked up, especially as someone who thought we were friends. I think that's a reasonable expectation for someone who you consider to be a friend.
But when Ethan was begging Hasan to moderate his chat from calling him pro-genocide every 30 seconds, Hasan's like, it's out of my hands. You did it to yourself.
That's true. He wouldn't moderate his Discord, his Reddit, anything that even though he could have moderated them. That was pretty shitty of him, especially since Hasan said that he agreed with Ethan, but he can't do anything about it. So he clearly doesn't have those expectations of other people.
By the way, I'm not even defending I'm not even like, I'm just trying to tell you guys how it feels. And I'm fucking shocked that you don't care that people in your chat are saying, who the fuck is this child, cold, arrogant,
Ethan,
as fuck.
I love you, but there's only so much I can do.
How can you be surprised when your Discord is literally full of
Ethan, I love you, but there's only so much I can do if you're making that argument. You know that, right? Like, at a certain point, you're an adult, and the words that you're saying are going to be perceived by people in a certain way.
You know,
Maybe somebody should just clip that and just say that to Hasan every single time he claims he's out of context.
at what point is Hasan responsible for the words that come out of his mouth? Zero self-awareness.
I've gotten numb to the criticism. Like, it's not.
I've gotten numb to the criticism.
As a matter of fact, I seek it out now.
That's
Oh, what a fucking alpha male badass on that one, guys.
bullshit.
No lube. So what you gonna do?
Debate mastermind. True.
If you number one, shove it up your ass and make it number two.
Hasan didn't like Destiny's debate with Ben Shapiro. He called Destiny an idiot for not picking apart Ben's points. Hasan's advice that he tries to give Destiny is terrible. He's like, never let Ben explain anything.
The problem is you shouldn't actually ever ask him like, how do you enforce that? Because then you're kind of conceding. You're giving him an opportunity to describe his like idiotic worldview, and Ben is a very skilled debater.
That's true. He's a master debater, some would say.
And he will try to present his handmaiden tale as dystopia in like a relatively positive way.
But that's how good conversations work. One person talks and then the other person responds. If you don't go
Yeah, you know, I remember I watched this debate, and I will say, like, whether you like Destiny or Ben Shapiro or not, both of them are, in my opinion, from what I've seen, pretty honest debaters. Like, they're pretty charitable to the other person. They let the other person speak and like fully articulate their point. They're not bad. I know people are probably going to get upset with that, but they're really not. I'm not going to say like both of them, like everybody who debates really is probably stuck in that like I'm right mood in the heat of the debate. But like I see both of them as people who can be introspective and like walk away afterwards and maybe reflect a little bit and potentially change. I don't think either of them are grifting. So
down their logical thought process, how will you ever understand their argument? It's no wonder all of Hasan's debates turn into screaming matches. Now, this debate was widely praised for being civil, respectable, and for allowing there to be a deeper conversation than just name calling.
Yeah.
I don't want to show you too much because it's a little dry. It's a politically nuanced conversation.
Hasan is unfortunately the dumbest guy here this time. Please just simply tell me why you think that is the case instead of just saying that and making yourself feel smart.
Are they going to do the thing where he criticizes Wikipedia, but then he uses Wikipedia himself for like Destiny sitting down for like a month straight looking up new information for Israel-Palestine and like all the old information and shit?
Because that is what dumb guys do.
My guy, that's you. The master debater Hasan, would get a chance to show off his debate tactics on Piers Morgan, but unfortunately would run into someone as stubborn as himself. Emily is pro-Israeli Hasan. She's loud and overly dramatic, demonizing everyone.
How dare you say it's okay to talk about an intifada?
My goal is solutions. Your goal is the continuation of violence.
Yeah, these two were made for each other.
Maybe they should make out and kiss.
Ship them. When going on a show to debate Israel
Why you said that's so weird?
Palestine, the number one question you will be asked is, do you think October 7th was justified? And Hasan refuses to answer directly.
It does seem that you're very selective about the violence that you support. That when you support it, it's justified. When other people use things in a violent way that you don't support, it's unjustified. Seems like it's all skewed to what Hasan Piker thinks.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily just what I think. I think that there are obvious markers, obvious boundaries. I don't think violence against civilians is justified. I've talked about October 7 on this very...
I do. But only the ones that are standing in the middle of the road trying to get people to stop driving. To save the world. Save my balls, bro. I gotta get to work, you know?
Same show saying that it was a tragedy. It was atrocities that occurred on October 7 specifically. When you target civilians in any capacity, I think that that is unacceptable. However, this does not mean that violence will not occur in many circumstances. Violence has occurred in every single revolutionary action, many good revolutionary actions.
Piers now asks the obvious question, which is, does Hamas attack count as one of those good revolutionary actions?
Was what Hamas did on October the 7th an example of what you would call a justified revolution?
Yeah, just say yes if you think yes, you know?
I don't look at every single act of violence. I look at
You've literally
players,
just been
I look
reciting...
at
Yeah, just say yes. Like, that's one of the things. If you think that it is, just be like, yeah, you know what? I do think it was justified. And I don't. But if you think so, like, just stand on your principles. I think people would... That's the problem with Hasan, is he just doesn't seem to live by the principles or stand by his principles. Like, he's a coward. Just be like, yes, I think that was justifiable. And I'd say, oh, okay. I mean, I disagree, but at least you got some fucking balls. But as Mr. Penis had said, no balls.
Systems of oppression.
Why are you avoiding October the 7th?
You do it too.
No, I don't.
I'm not avoiding it. I've talked about it a billion times.
Well, let me ask you one more time.
Hang on. Emily, hang on. This is not what we're here to discuss.
Let me just ask you directly one more time.
Just answer the question. He doesn't, so Piers asks again.
Let me ask you one more time. Do you believe what happened on October the 7th was a justified act of revolution? Yes or no?
I do not, and I do think that. Oh wait, hold on. That's, let me clarify. Let me clarify something very important here.
How do you not have an answer ready? He talks about how Israel is an apartheid regime, continuing to dodge the question, so Piers continues to ask it.
I just want to bring in our two British panelists here, but just finally, just to clarify, Hasan, I can't quite work out whether you said you do think October the 7th was an unjustified act of revolution, or whether you changed your mind. So can you clarify?
I think that violent means of maintaining an apartheid is inevitably going to yield violent retaliation.
Just say yes. If your argument is...
Yeah, just say yes. And then elaborate with that point. Sure, why not? Just say it.
That these people have been abused and oppressed for so long that this was the only option they had, then fine. That's not an illegal position. He's so worried about optics, he can't even communicate what he thinks.
I do not.
That's true. It does seem like he's afraid. He's like trying to win some kind of an optics battle there. Like, oh, I can't say it's okay because then people are going to think I'm... Just be like, no. So yeah, I think it was a horrible tragedy, but you know what? I do agree that it was, you know, justifiable. Okay, you know?
And I do think that...
You can think both things. You can think that like, hey, I think this is justifiable, but I also think it's really fucked up. Right? Like, you can say that. Go do it. Like, yeah, of course you'll get criticism, but like, that's the life, man. Like, no balls, you know? Mr. Penis had no balls.
Wait, hold on. That's let me clarify.
I find it funny that when Piers does this to opposing guests, Hasan loves it. He calls it real journalism.
Here is a 5-minute fest where Piers Morgan actually genuinely becomes a journalist for a brief moment. Let's watch.
You've literally no idea how many civilians you've been killing.
I can tell you definitively that our aim is to go after Hamas.
You have no idea how many civilians you've killed. If you know exactly...
The last time I looked at the numbers, it was something like, I think the IDF had reported 13,000 civilians, and I think of a total 13,000 combat, like, I guess Hamas deaths to 32,000 total deaths, right? Like Hamas said, we had 32,000 people died total. They don't separate civilians versus militants. And then IDF reported 13,000 militants. So that's like, what is that? Like a 40% militant, 60% civilian rate. Yeah.
How many Hamas terrorists you've killed. You must know how many civilians you've killed.
Piers, with respect, don't put words into my mouth, please. I didn't say exactly 14,000. I said around 14,000. Whereas Hamas will come out with precise numbers that statisticians
give me
will
a
look at.
ballpark number for civilians.
Well, you can use the ballpark as far as the Hamas figures, which I reject as being false.
Well, if they're false, why would you give me those?
I gave you the numbers that I had.
No, you told me you know how many Hamas terrorists you've killed, but you don't seem to have any idea how many civilians you've killed.
I saw a TikTok about this, and they were all saying you turned Piers Morgan into a believer. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I doubt that Piers Morgan was particularly swayed by Hasan, but okay.
But it's a shocking display, and as a fair and balanced reporter of facts, I will hand it to Piers. This is an unimaginable W.
But when Piers does the same thing to Hasan because he won't answer, that's because he's biased. Piers repeated the question one more time, and it about breaks Hasan.
Hasan, just before I come to the two people who are with me here, I just need some clarity here, because it seems like you're dancing around whether you think October the 7th was justified or not.
Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this back and forth masturbation? I've already given you my position.
Why are you doing this?
I'm
He's
sick
happy.
and tired of repeating it over and over again.
Okay.
Both are so annoying.
I just asked
this demon next to me wearing a fucking IDF dog tag.
Only when it's Jews, it's okay.
Ask this fucking demon next to me wearing an IDF dog tag if she actually thinks Israel's actions are justifiable.
Bring them home.
Do you
It's
see
to bring
me
the hostages home. The hostages that you rightly believe.
Wow, incredible.
Doesn't matter. You know what it is.
This whole time, by the way, the other two panelists haven't even been introduced. Hasan then asked the inverse question to Emily, but she answers very clearly.
Stop doing this to each other, please. Nobody can understand a word either of you are saying. Now, let me come to Esther and James here. This is one of my problems.
No, I want to hear if Emily condemns the actions of
Hasan,
Israel.
you will please let me moderate the debate.
I don't know why he doesn't just mute the guy. Just fucking mute the guy. You know, just mute Hasan and keep going.
About
I don't condemn
30,000
the idea.
people.
I've got two panelists here who've not had a word yet.
Because you're a
they
fucking
can have
terrorist.
millions from their homes. And I think you're a terrorist.
So yeah, this has been very productive.
Did she answer clearly? I couldn't really hear it. They're both just yelling at each other.
Finally, Esther answers that same October 7th question, and she does so precisely and clearly while bodying these two clowns.
This happened in a vacuum. Of course, October the 7th was an atrocity, and it was completely unjustified. There was no justification for butchering people in the way that they did. But it didn't happen in a vacuum. A lot of the people that live in Gaza weren't even born at the time that Hamas came in power. So I really despise this. You're a terrorist sympathizer. You're a genocide supporter. All of this, when really the people that we should be talking about deserve better.
Okay, James, on the wider point of these protests.
Well, I couldn't get to that part because...
What if we just gave everybody a free Netflix subscription? Do you think that would stop it? All the genocide? I don't know, genocide? I don't know if I would agree with the genocide, but... You think that would stop it? Netflix? Or a Hulu subscription? That's not a bad idea. Everybody want to be... I just watched all 3 Planet of the Apes movies. The newer ones. They were pretty, not the Mark Wahlberg, Tim Burton one. That was fucking crazy. So, hey, you know what I mean? Like, that'll stop the fighting for a day. I binged all 3 in a day. Well, 2 days, across 2 days. My wife wouldn't, she's being a baby, but whatever.
Because I wanted to describe what the apartheid is, and Emily cut in immediately to chirp about some random shit.
Okay.
He's so salty.
Look, Hasan, hang on, Emily, please, I'll come to you. Let me just ask you.
Whoa, Piers, that's sexual harassment, brother.
When you and Emily go at each other like you just did, nobody wins. I mean, no one can really understand a word you're saying because you're shouting over each other. You end up just calling each other terrorists. There's no sensible dialogue here. There's no constructive conversation. It's just two implacably opposed sides abusing each other. Do you understand?
Maybe Brazzers. Is Brazzers even all that good, dude? I don't know. Maybe. I've never tried it.
Yeah, listen, Piers, okay? This is going to always be a very heated discussion, okay? Having a conversation about how heated this discussion is utterly unproductive.
How are you supposed to have a productive conversation on this topic, educating people, if everyone is so emotional they can't even let each other speak? He's so emotional he can't even see the obvious flaws in his logic. The point he tries to make is absurd.
You tell me I'm wearing an IDF dog tag. I'm wearing a bring them home for the hostages that you... No, it says bring them home.
You're using the hostages as a simple political tool to make propaganda in the West. Is quite disgusting.
Isn't that what Hasan does in the East all the time? Or not in the East, holy fuck. In the West too? He just makes it anti-West propaganda? That's, like, you know what I mean?
The protests that are happening in Israel right now are massive.
Are a political tool?
And those protests...
What?
Why would I pay for that if I could just look at leaks, guys? Come on. Work smarter, not harder. You know what I'm saying?
Using humans in captivity as a political tool. It's so obvious.
Yeah, but so is Hamas, right? That's why they took the hostages in the first place, to use them as political tools. James correctly points this out, and Hasan loses it.
Anyone is using hostages, surely it's Hamas, Hasan. How can you say that? How can you use that argument? That's a crazy thing to say. It's Hamas that have taken these people from their homes,
tens of thousands of people in Israel.
Their relatives.
There are currently tens of thousands of Israeli citizens right now in the streets of Israel, in the streets of Tel Aviv, outside of Benjamin Netanyahu's house, protesting every single day.
Woo, that's cool, man. I'm so burnt out on the Israel-Palestine conversation, Thank you so much for the $2 from Mason. Poop. Incredible. Thank you.
Are they protesting? They're protesting for Benjamin Netanyahu to facilitate a ceasefire with Hamas so that they can actually bring the hostages home. That is precisely the number one goal of the family members of the hostages.
Who
and
is
if
using
anyone
the
on
hostages?
this panel was
No,
being
answer
even a
that
little bit
question.
honest.
I mean, unfortunately, you have Hamas using their own people as human shields and then politicizing their own deaths. They're hiding amongst their civilians. So, I mean, it's really fucked up. I feel like I kind of feel bad for Palestinian people because, obviously Israel doesn't give a shit about their life, but neither does their own governmental body. But then, unfortunately, Hamas seems to still have pretty high support over in Palestine. So that's unfortunate, too. But I wonder if that's under, like, some kind of duress, Like, I imagine that if you're like, oh, no, you know what, I support somebody that's not letting us die, they might be like, we're going to die now. You know what I mean? I can imagine that. So, that's terrible stuff, brother. I'm just happy I live here. I'm truly blessed to live in America.
They would recognize the reality that, just listen.
You didn't listen to my question.
James is right. He's dodging his question.
Listen to what I'm saying, and you will understand, perhaps, what I'm trying to imply
very patronizing.
Here. Utilizing the hostages. Yeah, I am being patronizing. I don't know who the fuck you are, and you're over here chirping all the way from
He's just so full of himself. It's so funny.
London about Palestine and doing a both sides are fine type.
I love that if you don't like guzzle Hamas's cum, then Hasan thinks you're doing a both sides thing. It's so funny.
Bullshit. You're talking about how you want to free Palestine, but also simultaneously, both sides got a lot going on. Shut the up. You don't know anything. Okay.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Bro, this guy lives in a $3 million home in California and drives a $250,000 Porsche.
Damn, I'm jealous. Thank you for the $2 for Mason. You're welcome. You're welcome. Incredible. Welcome. Incredible.
You're all equally unqualified.
I don't give a shit about what your perspective is.
I agree.
Hassan doesn't like what you have to say, so you're wrong. It's Hassan's way or the highway.
I mean, you
wow,
are.
Really
There is no both sides on a genocide. Is there a both sides on a genocide? There is no both sides.
Well, the thing is, it's interesting you should mention the hostages.
There's the Geno, and then there's the side. You know what I mean? There's two sides. I'm not trying to make light of it. I'm just so burnt out on this Israel-Palestine conversation. Like, I feel like most people, don't care that much. I know that sounds horrible because it's like terrible what's going on, but most people in America and probably other countries, like, I'm not really super worried about what's going on in the Middle East. Maybe sad, maybe rude, just being honest. I think it's sad that kids are dying, right? Hot take, right? Whoa. What a hot take. But, it's just unfortunately not very close to me. Well, fortunately not very close to me, which means that it's not super close to like my empathetic, circles, bubbles, everybody's first priority is usually like yourself and your family, and then you got your friends, and then you got like your community, hopefully it's like your local community, and then BBW porn is up in there. Just kidding. So
both sides hold on. Piers ends the debate early because Emily and Hasan won't stop talking over each other. The dialogue is completely fruitless.
And then since we've been talking about it so much, it's like kind of over it. I know it sounds terrible. Like, I'm not saying this to try to be callous. I'm just being honest. Like, it's like, okay, this is really fucking sad, man. But, there are people, and I'm sure like Hasan cares about dying people, but then there's also part of him that makes money off of talking about the topic. So he has that incentive of continuously talking about it. So, and that's everybody. You can say the same thing about everybody who's talking about it. Piers Morgan has been doing tons of Israel-Palestine debates over and over and over again because they bring in a lot of money. I'm sure he cares. Part of him cares. Part of him enjoys the money. So
he stares in the camera looking like he wants to end it all.
Like, honestly, I'm more interested in like homeless people in America than I am people in Israel-Palestine. You have all these people they're like, oh, I'm going to donate money to Gaza, we'll do this and that, which a lot of it goes to Hamas, unfortunately. But like, oh, and it's nice, but it's like, what about the homeless guy in your own fucking town? That's, I feel like put more energy into that.
Say,
yes,
we are fighting human animals and we have to cut off their electricity, cut off their food, cut off their water.
Okay.
Yeah,
cut off their porn.
You know what? I'm going to cut off this debate.
Of their electricity. The rest is Hamas.
I'm going to cut off the
That's
debate
not
because
Israel.
we're getting absolutely
Israel
nowhere. But I appreciate everybody joining me. Thank you.
Jesus, it's fucking crazy.
Thank you very much indeed.
Hasan's debate strategy was much more entertaining than Destiny's debate with Ben, but
I actually liked Destiny and Ben's conversation. I thought it was more entertaining. It was more interesting. Because like I could listen to both of them say something and I could be like, oh, this is coming from a place of like knowledge and intelligence. But I wonder if Piers set that conversation up knowing it would be fucking insane just so that he could have his like, I'm turning this off daddy moment. Well, I'm not saying that's like absolutely what happened, but how they have all these different TV shows like Survivor. and Big Brother, and even like Wife Swap or whatever, and they know that they're pairing people that will have interesting interactions together, and they're just like letting it play out. You know, they're just like, I know this person's going to say this and that. So I wonder if he did that just to have like a crazy, like, oh, let's see how fucking crazy this could be if I put these two in the same room.
Didn't learn a goddamn thing. Nobody watching this changed their opinion or learned anything new about the conflict. Hasan does nothing for this topic. Even he agrees that it was a complete waste of time.
I unironically realize, like, I can't have these conversations with people who are just like dick riding Israel into oblivion. It's just not going to be productive discourse. I was screaming, dude. He probably loves you if you made good TV. No, we didn't make good TV because I knew.
I don't know how much productive discourse is going to be on like a Piers Morgan show. You're better off doing like a one-on-one debate with somebody, like potentially Destiny.
It probably came off unhinged.
I really do believe if he was just less emotional and engaged with arguments more directly, he would look a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I don't know if that ever was going to be a productive conversation. Like sometimes the Piers Morgan show is just it's just an event. You know, he'd be better off getting a moderator like Lex Friedman or somebody more neutral and having a debate with somebody else in a longer form, like, you know, setting Wife Swap Israel-Palestine edition. Yeah, that's a hell of a show. Yeah.
Said he frames it as everyone else is just doing this for career opportunities.
That's the problem. Every single one of these like pro-Israeli people are doing it for fucking career opportunities.
He gets mad at Brianna.
Well, I mean, you could just say the same thing about you, man. What are you talking about? Like, I feel like it's easier to have a career opportunity. Like like progressives, I don't know, like for young people, you could, it depends on the side. I mean, both sides, like if you say like on TikTok, you don't like Israel, like you're going to like, people are going to masturbate all over you and go, oh my God, this is so good. You know what I mean? Like, and if in more conservative space, it's probably Facebook, probably the same for Israel. Like, it's just, so to say like, oh, you're just doing it for a career. You could argue the same about yourself, you know?
Wu for supporting how police handled protesters and compares her having the last name Wu to a white person saying the N-word.
How does she have the last name Wu? She married an Asian dude. What? And I guess like transitive property makes her Asian.
What?
I don't know. It's very strange. Like, okay.
I'm very confused.
Okay, so I guess Riley Reid can say the N-word then. Like, what do you...
Am I missing context? I understand what he's saying. He's saying a white person married an Asian person, so they become Asian. Is that like, that sounds like his argument? I'm so confused.
It's not, it don't work that way.
I have no fucking idea where, maybe that's out of context. But that's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire fucking life.
Last name is Wu because that's her husband's last name. What is he talking about? Hasan was terrible in this debate. He managed to make a majority
Oh, her husband's Ric Flair? That's a good joke.
Palestine panel hate him, and I don't blame them. Hasan is the best thing to happen in the IDF. He makes his side look so crazy. He mocks Destiny for reading Wikipedia.
Seems like he does more research than you. No, you just came in here to say that because you don't know anything about the way I've covered this conflict.
Like again, even if you're more on Hasan's side, he doesn't do any research. He does as much research as I do. Like Destiny, you can hate Destiny. He's a fucking cringe little debate nerd, and I like it, by the way. But like at the end of the day, he puts an extraordinary amount of effort. He puts an extraordinary amount of effort into like doing actual research. Like that is his motivation, especially if you think that he's like somebody being right. Because part of him is a little debate guy. He's like the little high school debate guy, you know. That's his whole point, though. It's to go and like be right. So he goes and does an extraordinary amount of research.
I have talked to academics on this issue over and over again. I've used their works. I've interviewed them directly. I've interviewed journalists on the fucking ground that have like actually been in Gaza.
By that he means he reads tweets and only talks to people who agree with him. But when he's asked to read a single article from an opposing viewpoint, he's like, nope, don't want to pay for it.
Why don't you read the whole article? Well, one, because it's paywalled, and two, I don't want to listen to an article about how
it's paywalled. Don't you make millions of dollars?
Calling Israel an apartheid regime is wrong.
If you're so educated and know so much, go debate Destiny. Piers has been trying to set it up.
So they think like
I don't know if I'd go through Piers, but
that's the position to take.
Piers Morgan people today reached out to me. They said, "Hi, would you be interested in debating Hasan Piker on either Tuesday or Thursday next week?" I said, yeah, sure, but there's no way he will agree. And they said, checking.
It's probably good for Hasan to not debate Destiny because he'll lose. Even if you think Hasan is correct, he will lose to Destiny. He will get fucking ass blasted. So
we'll see.
Hasan's pretending this isn't happening. It's pathetic.
Just genocide all of them. Genocide the Middle East. Permanent third world genocide.
Wow, so based, Hasan. Thank you. I'm just kidding. It's terrible.
The thing Hasan has been doing is he will literally break news. He will talk about things that nobody else has even reported on or talked about yet. There's no details released, but Hasan's got the inside scoop. He doesn't cite anything.
There's been a ceasefire negotiation process with a lot of back and forth for some time now. Israel is the party that has been ruining the ceasefire terms.
I could swear both sides have been, but okay.
I know that it takes two to tango, but for the most part, I would say that Hamas's conditions have been endlessly reasonable. Israel's reaction has been anything but.
How? Why? Quantify that, please.
Yeah, for sure. Let me know. Like, this could have been the moment where he said something, and I was like, wow, you really changed my mind on that one. Smell balls. I have no idea what's wrong with me.
He won't.
Now, of course, if you look at the American news coverage, the Western media's coverage on the issue, you would basically come up with an entirely different opinion. Perhaps the exact opposite of what is the truth.
Okay, how?
So basically, what I'm trying to say is, the media is presenting what is actually happening, looking at what is actually happening, and just presenting the exact opposite. Okay? The exact opposite.
Show me. Give me an article. The video he has on screen does not confirm any of it.
In this round of conversations, basically they claimed that like the Hamas acceptance was coming from an Egyptian envoy, and Egypt is also Hamas. Well, they didn't say that, but they said that
Hamas, he says it like my mom says Spanish words. You know what I mean? That's how my mom says Spanish words, you know?
Egyptian terms were like infinitely softer than what the
she's a white lady trying to say shit.
Israel would be down for or something. And this is after Hamas agreed to the latest proposal presented by Israel on April 27th. And there is no change in its elements. An official matter with the talks tells Reuters.
He's saying Hamas accepted Israel's ceasefire conditions with no changes and that Israel is backing out because they want to kill more people. This is insane news if true. Hasan's only source for this is a tweet. Like, bro, you gotta have more than this. He then immediately mocks and laughs at any report saying that Hamas may have changed the deal.
And the only thing that I've seen from Israel is...
It seems like my understanding is neither side really wants to come to an agreement. I saw somewhat recently that... somewhat recently that Hamas was potentially going to come to the table, but I don't keep up on it. Like I said, like it's hard to because I don't know, man. Like I'm burnt out on the conversation. Like I know everybody's expected to talk about it, but at this point it's just like, yeah, fuck it. You know?
That although it is their proposal, they no longer actually feel comfortable with it. And are saying that maybe it's Egypt has softened that deal too much.
The details haven't been released yet. How is he mocking that? What if it's true? Only 2 days later, a U.S. official would report. U.S. officials have pushed back on Hamas' claim that it agreed to a ceasefire deal, instead characterizing the response as a counter-proposal with changes. That counter-proposal will need further negotiations.
Okay, well that's how these things work. Neither side is going to get what they want. And that is a proper compromise. I had to think of words for a second, you know.
When this information would come out, would Hasan correct the story? Nope. He'd just continue his narrative. Israel reneged the terms.
That is why you saw.
Well, these are how these processes are going to go. Like one side's going to say we want to do this, and the other side's going to say no, right? And then we come to eventually people will come to something. They'll come to hopefully an agreement, hopefully some kind of agreement that's good for everybody. And then we have to hope that 100 years from now, nobody cares anymore. I mean, like the reality is nobody really cares about what the Germans did. Like we care that it happened and it was a terrible thing, but at the same time, it's like, okay, we've moved on. You know what I mean? My mommy's a German and my daddy's a Jew. So it worked out. They had sexual intercourse. And then he's like, I'm going to leave her just to spite the Germans, you know? No. But no, like, we kind of move on and it's like, okay, things settle down and hopefully there's productive, we'll say conversation and everybody's happy. And like, that's what I want. A happy world, guys, and a happy meal, multiple for McDonald's because there's not enough food in it, So we'll see what happens.
Celebration when the Palestinians heard that Hamas had accepted the ceasefire conditions, which were put together by an American and Egyptian and Qatari envoys as well.
Cool.
Which Israel decided to renege on the terms and then turn around and say, actually, no, we didn't agree to this at all. We don't believe this at all. We are still going to continue with our Rafah invasion. Israel then also claimed that it was really fucked up of Hamas to act like they were accepting a ceasefire and getting the Palestinian hopes up.
And as usual, this guy doesn't cite anything. He just keeps the storyline going. That's the Hasan way.
It was funny to see like a brief moment from the media where they were like, Hamas accepted the conditions of the ceasefire. And then Israel reneged on the offer, only to very quickly turn back and be like, actually, no, Israel told us that it was Hamas that like fucked up the offer and added additional conditions. And that's why it's Hamas's.
Yeah, why wouldn't Hamas do that though? Like, why wouldn't Hamas do that? Like, that's the thing. Hey, Israel's going to put over what they think is they're going to get like the best deal out of it, generally speaking. And then Hamas is going to be like, okay, well, we want to do this instead because that's not good for us. And they're going to go back and forth for a while and hopefully eventually come to an agreement. Like, that's how these things work. It's not even a negative for Hamas to do that. It makes sense. That's how fucking negotiations work. You need, like, it's not even like a hot take at all. It's so fucking basic and normal. And like, that's how these things work. It's called advocating for yourself and your people. Like, what the fuck?
Fault. It's like, is there a moment that like Israel will be at fault for any of this, or is it always just Hamas?
The media only ever reported that that's what Hamas said, which is not the same thing. Even the most staunch advocates have to admit it's a little bit ridiculous that Hasan will see a single tweet, come up with a narrative in his head, and then when the news releases more information, he goes, nope, they're wrong. My scenario is actually right. He's like this because his foreign policy is America bad all the time.
That is true. He just does not like Western. It's which is so bizarre because West is the best. And I don't care. People be like, well, it makes it the best because I believe it's the best pussy. That's why I like Western values. I like that people are freer. Men, women, children. We have higher ages of consent. LGBTQ people are free. I love gay people and trans people. It is legitimately part of my mentality. So, like, yeah, it's Western values are the best. Is it perfect? No, but we're the best. Fuck you, pussy. I'm never gonna change my stance on that. Like, you know, we have better freedom of speech. I don't know what to tell you. What if I drink lean? I'd be awesome, man. I'd get some credibility in the streets. Just kidding.
Let me explain to you 2 principles that you should keep with you, coming from a person who's Turkish, okay? When you look at a situation in the Middle East, you look at...
Isn't like Turkey like half East, half West, kind of like culturally? Is that a word?
What the local government is and who the Western forces are. Never align with the Western forces. That's
that's a very nuanced take, Hasan. Thank you so much.
A principle that you could take home with you if you want to actually be moral or if you want to be smart about the way you act.
That's not smart at all. Just be a sheep in the opposite direction. That's it. Like, if you think West is bad, always disagree with the West. That's literally Sneako's perspective. It's like, that's literally his perspective. Like, literally, he thinks any of the Western narratives that you should just think the opposite of. And that makes you right. How does this make you intelligent? I don't understand.
Analyze other countries. That's one basic principle that you can take home with you. All of a sudden, magically, you are above on your foreign policy analysis. You're going to be better off than 90% of people that look at the situation.
That's not.
Well, shit. Thanks, brother. I'm gonna commit that to my balls.
Not what analysis is, bro. That's called bias.
Yeah, what is anal cis for 200?
Hasan isn't just bad at news. He does this on purpose. He's a propagandist, no different than the counter-protester he condemns. College protests have erupted across the country. Their goals vary, but they mainly want universities to stop working with companies that have financial ties to Israel. And the students have every right to do that. The debate.
Shit, I'm gonna continuously eat rye bread pussy. I don't give a frick.
Comes when students build a rust base and prevent other students from freely moving around campus. Asman tweeted about this, and Hasan responded saying students aren't being blocked from going to class. And Asman replied with a video.
You guys have closed the entrance. We are UCLA students. I have my ID right here. I'm being blocked off, not by the security guard, but by you two. You three. Oh, look, they're making their burger while I'm going this way. Excuse me. This is what they do. Everybody, look at this. Look at this. I'm a UCLA student. I deserve to go here. We pay tuition. This is our school. And they're not letting me walk in. My class is over there. I want to use that entrance. Okay, we're going. We're going. I'm going in. I have my hands up. I'm not hurting them.
It's crazy how people can get away with like this much. You know what I mean? Like, protest all you want, but it's blocking students from being able to do something, or blocking anybody from being able to do something is fucking ridiculous. It should be illegal.
I'm not hurting them. That's what they do. That's what they do, everybody. You guys are promoting aggression. You guys are promoting hate. We're UCLA students, we deserve to be there.
Hasan writes, this is a Zionist counter-protester, and they routinely try to enter the encampment to dox and harm students, like he's doing here now to farm TikToks and dupe people who aren't there into thinking these students are trying to block him from going to class. He brought mace. Now, Hasan's right in the sense that this guy isn't just trying to go to class. He's a counter-protester with the goal of making the protesters look bad. One look at his page proves that. The thing is, there's no evidence of this guy trying to harm anybody. Hasan's acting like he was trying to start fights. Asman rightfully points out, I don't see him trying to harm anyone here. He's just talking to them. How is that a problem? Hasan then gets flustered. No, I was talking about the video you linked. He's been trying to enter the encampment to start fights for the past week. He's an agitator and has never been restricted from going to class.
Is that true? Like, where is there any level of truth to that? Like, I don't. I mean, if that's true, okay. Like, do you have any? I'm fucking confused. Is there like actual proof of that? I don't understand.
The vid you linked is cut specifically to invoke a response. So now this guy isn't just an annoying counter-protester, which was accurate. He's now trying to start fights and harm people. Hasman asks, where are the videos of him starting fights then? If I look behind the people blocking him, there aren't any encampments at all either. I'm fine to condemn the guy, but I don't see any evidence of him doing anything wrong right now. And that's true. There's absolutely zero evidence of this guy trying to harm anyone. I tweeted about it, asking for a single clip of this guy causing any harm. It doesn't exist. There's something truly poetic about Hasan getting mad at an Israeli propagandist for lying, so his solution is to then lie about him, spreading his own propaganda. They're the same person. It's beautifully ironic. Hasan gets mad at Asman, reiterating, he wasn't blocked from going to class. He's blocked from entering the encampment. Asman replies, if he's a student and he can't go somewhere in the school because people are blocking him, it's wrong. They have
yeah, that makes sense.
no right or justification to decide who can or can't go somewhere on campus. And Asman is completely right. If you want to make a guy like this look bad, let him into the encampment and film him being an asshole. He just repeats his own misinformation until it becomes a fact. Which reminds me, it's raining bullshit tonight. A lot of people are on.
Listen, there's not going to be any rewriting of history. Hasan's just going to say that he created the whole online political debate sphere, okay? It's not resetting history.
Happy with how police have handled protesters, but Hasan makes it seem like a slaughter.
Instead of that, they did a show of force. They said, no, this is a fascist police state, actually. How dare you fucking say anything mean about Israel? We will fucking kill.
Police remove protesters who took over Columbia building? Oh, shit, they should. That's not a peaceful protest anymore if you're taking over the building. I'm going to turn the sound off in a sec, don't worry. Why is that a problem? Thank you so much for the $5 from a generic user. Would you rather be a 40-year-old two-time divorcee with a child or a 40-year-old man whose mommy still cooks chicken? I want the fucking one with the mommy that cooks chicken nuggets. What kind of question is that? You don't want your mom to cook you nuggets, idiot? I'm just kidding. What are you, fucking stupid, dude? You don't want your mommy to make you fucking nuggies? What the fuck?
Kill you. We will pack you up. We will arrest you. Like, all you need
I mean, what? Kill and arrest are two very different things. You should be arrested. What the fuck?
to do is just go out
Didn't they like destroy the building too? I remember.
there and be a voice, and people still lose their minds. They're like, this is unhinged. Like, we have to kill you. We have to arrest you.
Someone in chat would argue that the police didn't handle the protest as poorly as most other countries. Hasan would rightfully condemn them for making such a pointless argument.
It's not bad unless it's the worst thing possible. Yeah, I know.
What? Did they kill anybody? I'm so confused. What am I missing here?
How could you be complaining? How could you be complaining about police response when German police were locking up Jews and gay people and...
Well, it's not like he's complaining about police response. He's just lying about it. What?
So
hey, what's up, Brion? How you doing, brother?
Socialists and Roma people and disabled people and putting them
like Roma army
in concentration camps and killing them. Like, you don't have to compare everything to the worst fucking thing that has ever happened.
Well, no, you don't. You could say it's bad, but you're saying that they're killing people. That doesn't seem to be happening, so I'm very confused. Well, I'm not. Why am I confused? He's just going to lie. I don't know. What's the confusion here?
Completely agree with Hasan here. Something doesn't have to be the equivalent of Nazi Germany to still be considered bad. Hasan would follow this up by forgetting he ever said this and comparing everything to Nazi Germany.
There are so many things that have occurred throughout history that are objectively infinitely more violent than what these students are doing that you agree with. Fighting against Nazi Germany.
He's so fucking dumb. What the fuck?
Obviously, a ton of violence occurred there, and it was perfectly righteous and perfectly just.
Ben Shapiro thinks two-parent households would solve a lot of problems in society. Nazi Germany.
He's a fascist.
True, dude. The Ben Shapiro, Nazi Germany. Thank you for the $5, Mason. It's also an answer to United Crusader. I'd rather be a two-time globe-winning Jim Carrey who dreams about three-time. What the fuck are you talking about? Three-time Golden Globe winner Jim Carrey. What the hell are you on about?
Is him bringing up Nazi Germany as a moral regression is an awesome point. Turn around and go, yeah, that's exactly the kind of moral regression you're advocating for in the United States of America when you want to have these like insane regressions on culture.
Students blockade and push back against the...
Like, I believe in a two-parent household. That's a good idea. We should push for that. But the thing is, you can't force people to do that, right? So it'd be good if we could do that because it's healthier for the child, better more constructive environment. But like, you can't force it. It's like, how do you get there? You know what I mean? And how do you get there functionally without your parents hating each other? Because that's a real thing. I know like a lot of people who've had not great parents because they weren't in love with each other and they didn't do a very good job raising their kids. They just gave them a bunch of trauma. So
police, Nazi Germany.
They did a show of force. They said, no, this is a fascist police state, actually.
Someone's anti-abortion, Nazi Germany.
Very same government, your own local governments, for taking increasingly restrictive actions against those who want to make a medical decision, criminalizing abortion, criminalizing women's bodily autonomy in this country.
That's pretty basic because, you know, I do believe in abortion, but I also believe in restricting women's rights. So it's kind of like a tough call here, guys.
When they come for you in the exact same way, do not be shocked.
I'd rather them come on me.
There's a little poem about this from Nazi Germany, as a matter of fact.
Oh, he's so funny. I mean, I tend to agree with him with abortion. He's just the way that he communicates his arguments are just so annoying. It makes you not want to agree with him. You know what I mean?
They came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me.
Israel, everyone who sympathizes with their side, every counter-protester, Nazi Germany.
Everyone knows what a Nazi is.
Yeah, the Jews especially, because they were the ones who got Nazi'd the most.
Okay, and yes, these counter-protesters are f***ing Nazis.
It makes perfect sense, Hasan. You're doing a good job here, bud. That one makes the most sense, I think, of anything you've ever said. You fucking idiot. Oh, my God.
Through and through.
It's crazy how you could comfortably say that. Like, bro, Jews were literally fucking killed by Nazis. Like, that's like the whole thing we talk about. And in fact, that is like the biggest reason why they wanted land for themselves. So that they could be like, hey, we have a Jewish state, so they could feel protected because they were just genocided while most of the world didn't really care until like they had their own interests to invest into it. Like America wasn't going to join World War II until we got attacked. So it's like, yeah, you know, so you could, that's why they want their own state, because they were persecuted. So they were given land, right? So again, you could disagree with it, you call it an occupation, whatever. Be my guest. I'm just saying. My point is that like it's funny you call them Nazis when like that's the motive. That's why they want land for themselves, so that they could feel protected. So it's just funny to say that they're Nazis. It's just stupidity.
Israel is a Nazi-style state. Israel's actions are identical to the Nazi regime and the Nazi state.
Not really, though. To be absolutely honest with you, like there are like Palestinian people that are I think there's like almost 2 million. Oh my God, 2 million of them that are live with citizenship and work and have political. They can vote and they can participate in politics, and some of them are politicians in Israel. So
challenged on this and doubles down because everything does need to be Nazi Germany.
Identical is crazy. Is it? Is it though? Fascism is the underpinning ideological movement that the Zionist ideology represents. Same as the Nazis.
Spitting facts, dude.
Is it that crazy? Is it that crazy? Think about that.
Yes.
Is it? This ain't 2007 no more.
Dude, this guy's so based.
I mean, it's just weird for you to I don't know, to make that comparison between Jews and Nazis. That's just fucking wild.
Interviewed a Houthi terrorist and promote himself the entire time as doing real journalism.
I DM'd him. Bro, are we about to have a Houthi rebel on stream? Yes, brother. What do you mean?
Hell
of course I'm about to have a...
Hasan might be a plant. He might be a plant from terrorists so that they can have a public Twitch platform.
I'm a journalist, okay? This is journalism.
Ooh, based journalist Hasan?
This is fire.
I'm also a journalist. I have a journal. I write down how my day went every single day. It's my call. It's my journal. So I am a journalist, okay?
This is exciting.
I'm also a rapper. That's why they call me a rapist.
Exciting. I'm excited.
That's not good. That was not a good thing to say. Sorry, it's a joke.
I did. Doing a little bit of real journalism, you know what I mean? Finally.
I agree with Hasan. This would be actual journalism, but the criticism comes from you not asking any real questions. He just wanted to be friends with this guy, asking him about One Piece.
Does he know what One Piece?
Well, I don't think he wants to be friends with the guy. He's just going to ask him meme questions because he's a fucking stupid little bitch.
Ooh. Piece is.
One Piece, like, is that an organization?
No, One Piece is an anime.
Incredible.
Is it
Luffy?
Yeah, he said he's been watching it since he was a kid.
No way!
Yeah, probably still hasn't fucking caught up either because there's so many goddamn episodes.
Yeah.
That's sick. Yes. That's fire. That's so fire. Oh my God.
He then says him and his entire community...
Hey, ask him what he thinks about abortion. What I find so interesting, and I don't understand why it's not a factor to these people, is like ask this person what they think about abortion, LGBTQ rights, women's rights, et cetera, and they probably are not going to be particularly progressive. And so like I'm not saying you can't advocate for people because of that. I'm just saying like it's interesting nobody takes those into account. Like they're like queers for Palestine, for instance. Like they will fucking kill you over there. Like they do not like gay people. It's just an interesting thing. You know, I personally would struggle to try to care for a group that would never care about me in a million years. Maybe they would in maybe a couple hundred years. I don't know. But I don't know. I personally would struggle with that. You know, I would personally struggle with that.
Support what the Houthi are doing, which is attacking commercial vessels.
Dude, we think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
Just say it normal. I know that that's not your real accent, okay?
With anime questions to ask this guy immediately.
They don't have any.
I know Hasan's from Turkey, but he pretends that he's not the whitest motherfucker in the world when he says when he tries to have an accent. He sounds like a fucking white woman trying to speak Spanish. You know, starting to say Spanish words.
Like, you know, he doesn't have any time to watch fucking anime and shit, so I don't know. I don't know what else to ask about.
How about something relevant? That would be cool. So a viewer suggests a real question, and Hasan shoots him down.
All right. Okay, what else do I want to ask? What else do I want to ask? So, like, I mean, he's...
What else do I want to ask? Do it fart, though? Do it fart?
Ask him if he would stop going on boats if Israel stops the genocide. I mean, yeah, he's gonna say yes, chat. What are you talking about? Those are like dumbass questions. Has he ever had like Western food?
How is that a better question? It is the biggest
Much, but of course he's gonna say yes. Western food is the best earned food. Am I right?
glaze session I've ever seen.
What does he have to say to dumbasses that consider him to be a terrorist? What does he think about that?
Oh yeah, I am. That's what he said, guys. I tell you.
That's my question. I just banned one of those stupid fuckers in the chat just now.
He says, "Who are they?"
Just fucking dumbasses.
Wow, this is so
Damn, got him. This is some fucking hard pressing journalism, baby.
impartial. I made a whole video addressing how historically terrible this video is, even by Hasan standards. Feel free to check it out. But the point is, he was really proud of it, comparing his anime questions to legitimate journalists who provided alternative perspectives.
It's kind of like the state's narrative is threatened by the humanization of Arabs. Yes, 100%. Journalists sat down with actual ISIS members for interviews. The fuck are people talking about? Exactly. There's no way that you can say that is not appropriate. Okay, that's what the media does.
Well, I don't think people are criticizing him for talking to the guy. It's that he didn't push him on anything. Just fucking, that was weird.
You can interview whoever the fuck you want. Okay, the idea that you can't do that is ridiculous. So
true, Hasan. You're so right. This guy's so smart. I know why people watch him now.
That's, you know, that is just journalism. People have literally interviewed Osama bin Laden. Okay,
people are not.
Yeah, you want to know what's funny? He liked Cowboy Bebop a lot. Osama, maybe he wasn't so bad. All right, you know, 9/11, that was bad, but Spike X Fay Rule 34, that's something we could all get behind. Am I right, guys? Am I right or what?
Not mad that you interviewed him. It's how you did it. Hasan would get so much pushback for this, he'd revert to the Hasan classic, imply that everyone's racist.
Problem is not that you interviewed him.
That is true, I am.
It's how you interviewed him. Gave me chicken and waffles with the Nazi vibes. That's great. That's a great question, or that's a great point to raise here. Except this person is not a Nazi in the United States of America. He's not a Nazi in Yemen either. You are suspecting him of being that because you're primed into assuming that this 19-year-old is straight up a Nazi. He's giving you Nazi vibes, I guess.
Yeah.
Didn't he say he was a terrorist though? He was like, I'm part of the pirates. Arg. He said he uses the hard yar. The Houthi pirate said he likes to use the hard yar, Hasan. That's fucking racist.
Bro, I wonder why.
I can't do anything to help you sort out your own internal biases.
True, dude.
That makes you
Fuck my
feel
balls.
like this is not a good thing, this is a bad thing.
He's part of an organization whose flag says death to Israel, death to the United States, a curse.
Yeah, I like the United States personally, so I wouldn't be. I'm not really on board with that massage that he's going. I fucking suck at this game. I can't even do it anymore.
Upon the Jews. Hasan's gotten so much heat for this, he's now rewriting history, acting like the guy was never a Houthi.
I had a random teenager from Yemen.
Ah, yes, a random teenager from Yemen, brothers.
On this broadcast, and these dipshits literally kept saying he's an anti-Semitic, homophobic, gay people executing terrorist Houthi who killed probably a bunch of fucking sailors. Random fucking Yemeni teenager who in the interview said he's not anti-Semitic, that he's totally on board with anti-Zionist Jews, which was shocking for him to even learn about.
Did he say that? What?
Hasan.
I mean, I didn't watch the interview, so I can't say. Maybe he did. I'm just a dumb, ugly idiot.
If he thinks all Jews are Zionists, and he didn't know that others existed, doesn't that mean he hates all Jews?
Not a militant, and literally said he wasn't. He was not Houthi.
He didn't say he wasn't part of the Houthi. He was very vague because he's clearly been media trained, which Hasan pointed out.
Has Hasan been media trained? Good question.
As far as the Ansar Allah militancy goes, like as far as the standing military goes, like I don't know if he is allowed to speak on this. I don't know if he's like actually a part of the groups at all, or just like simply a TikToker. You know what I mean? I don't know how to ask.
How come Hasan's just like my grandma here?
That in the best way possible, though.
Yeah, I feel like we can ask him pretty directly. His answer is he's a Yemeni who stands with Palestine.
Okay.
He says that he's not Shiite or Sunni. He's just a Yemeni Muslim.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. I mean, I don't know. I feel like he's very media trained, surprisingly, but okay.
It's not surprising at all because he's not some random Yemeni teenager. A viewer pointed out that Hasan marketed it as talking to a Houthi.
Didn't you brand it as him being a Houthi interview, though? Brother, I didn't know anything about him.
Oh, he said Tim Houthi Chalamet. I think so. In Hasan's defense, from what I remember, and you could, maybe I'm wrong, but I think he had just marketed him as that because people were calling him that because he looked like Timothy Chalamet, so they're calling him like Tim Houthi Chalamet, or Charlemagne. Right, it's a good guy. I think. I don't know. I'm just rewatching Vikings, and that name comes up, and I think I watched that in a history class. I didn't pay attention though.
Okay. And that is the reason why I asked them questions in that process. But many people did not actually watch the interview, and they simply made assertions.
Bro, you need to watch your own interview.
Are you saying insertions? Because I love that. It's hot as hell.
I didn't know it was possible to rewrite your own history after only 2 months. This has to be a new record. George Orwell would be impressed.
Your fucking mouth, you're just really fucking dense. If you hate me while you talking, you don't make no fucking sense.
Hasan's community is so insane that they're even sick of him. They go after him for the smallest things.
I'm sorry, I forgot
really
to say you
I remember. This was so silly.
need to stop drinking Coke Zero on stream.
Why?
Boycott.
Drink it off streams. Boycott.
You're preaching pro-Palestine and you're drinking all this boycott stuff. Please, Hasan. At least pretend. Do it off stream. Please do pretend.
She's like,
I mean, she's not really insane. She's 100% right, honestly. Like, listen, this is the thing. If Hasan is going to pretend that everything that's associated with Israel is fucking terrible dog shit garbage and needs to be taken down, then why aren't you protesting these things in your real life? Like, why aren't you living by your moral values? It's a very basic question. Like, I don't she's not crazy at all. She's 100% right. I'm just as fucking bald I am. Well, just barely, she's like 90% right. Because I got some patches here. It's the truth.
please just pretend to care, Hasan. And he's like, sure, that's my whole grift.
Is Pepsi okay?
No.
Okay.
No soda, Hasan.
I didn't know it was like that. I'm trying to stop it.
You should know. You should know, no?
You hosted him in his home and I watched him on stream drink Coke Zero.
Yeah,
it's your house, you get to say no.
Hasan's annoyed here, but he created this. A good example of how is a guy in his community was complaining about getting bullied at school. Someone said, we need a better slur against white people because
okay.
Cracker doesn't hit hard enough.
It doesn't, because like it doesn't hit that hard. It's still not a nice word. You shouldn't say it. But the reality, you ever see that Boondocks episode where there was like the white guys walking down the street and like the black guy and him have a confrontation. The white guy gets about to get really angry and he just laughs and says, "Wait a minute, I'm white." Yeah. So when you call me a cracker, I prefer it with the soft A. I mean, I'm not really that offended. You know, I think it's annoying that you're trying to annoy me. That's what it is. You're trying to piss me off. But because that's what it is. It's like you're doing one of these. I'm not touching you, but there's no historical significance to that. So I'm just like, all right. I'm just like, you're trying to annoy me, so that annoys me. But that's it. And I go, wait a minute, I'm white. I'm like, oh my god, everything's so much better now. I'm just kidding.
And Miles replies, damn, so I guess me growing up in my shitty poor neighborhood / family and experiencing people f***ing with me for being white for a lot of years and getting jumped multiple times means nothing. Great. Hasan replies, anti-white racism is entirely victimhood seeking. It's like how Zion is crying that people—
What? No, there's some white people who get bullied for being white. I wasn't one of them. But I mean, my school was like, I lived in a pretty I lived in an area. My high school was 30% white, but I never got bullied for being white. You know, I think that's more of a newer thing. I don't know, because we're trying to hate whites. I don't really know, but I mean, some kids might get bullied for being white. Like, not everybody's like this kid. That's like fucking 15-year-old kid getting bullied for being white. There's no systemic aspect there. It's just him getting bullied for being white. Maybe he's lying, but if you take him at face value that he's getting bullied for that, it's like, oh, that's sad. That sucks, man. You know?
People are mad at them for defending Israel's actions. It's perceived victimhood. No different than complaining that you were slighted at a gay bar for being a heterosexual. If you're getting jumped and called slurs, that's a little bit more than just being slighted, right? Miles responds, am I just a stupid victim when I say that I don't like getting jumped for being a white 14-year-old at my high school? I got for the color of my skin almost every day. Hasan shows
if he wants to just be like, I don't think that's true.
Sympathy. Dude got bullied in high school and thinks that reverse racism is real. Can't make this up. My man thinks racial discrimination is simply mean words that hurts my feelings and not an entire system designed to keep a whole ass group subjected. And the mean words are secondary to the perceived grievance. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of racism in the way that we conceptualize it.
Why run that defense? Like, that's so boring and lazy. Like, if some kid's just like, yeah, I get bullied for being white, oh, that sucks, man. Yeah, that sucks, bro. You know? I might not sit here and be like, there's a real problem when it comes to whites in America. I probably wouldn't say that, but I'm like, that sucks, man. That's unfortunate. You shouldn't have to deal with that. I wouldn't sit here and make an excuse as to why it's okay. And like, it's just cringe. Like, okay. Just be like, yeah, that sucks, man. You know? I don't know what else to say.
Does this dude ever accuse anyone else of being a debate pedophile when he's saying stuff like this?
Yeah, I don't understand why he's taking time out of his day to talk to a supposed 14-year-old about the kid getting bullied. Like, it's just weird. Why are you doing that?
Guys just like, yeah, I don't think we should promote using slurs. And Hasan's response is, ever hear of systemic racism?
Thank you for the $2 from here for the memes. Is Hasan this dumb, or could he be a drama farming? I think that he's dumb for drama farming. Actually, that's a good question, because my understanding, people keep saying that he's getting fewer and fewer views. So it is possible that he's drama farming, but I doubt it.
Entire Discord would dunk on this guy. You gotta love the logic of these people. This guy getting bullied for his race isn't racism. You guys have to hang out with regular people. It's no wonder Hasan's sitting there crying, wondering why all the normies left. His viewership falls
yeah, true.
off when he's not talking about politics. And it's gotten to Hasan venting in Discord. I don't know. This was
yeah, that's always gonna happen when you're doing like a content shift. People are gonna stop watching you. But I don't really know if there's anything interesting that Hasan does outside of politics. I mean, he's not interesting in general. He's just like, so I honestly, there's two reasons that you follow Hasan. One, because you think he's handsome. Two, because you don't like the people that he talks about. I know it sounds weird, but you're not going to get anything particularly intelligent out of the guy, right? So you're really just following him because he pisses off people by being dumb as shit. He just says dumb shit confidently, and he pisses people off. You're like, this is the good guy, because I don't like those guys. That's all it really comes down to for him.
It's a space to convert normies to our politics and people who could enjoy and many of you became like weirdos who don't see that as an important part of the project because you associate leftism with being an annoying douchebag who hates fun. I hate how much people literally despise any kind of fun content. We killed all the normies. Everyone is brain broken and only wants politics. I hate what my community is becoming. I'm done. I hate this job.
I hate what my come is be. What?
I'm not streaming today. Well deserved. You did it to yourself. Another thing I find funny is Hasan will make it a point to mock Destiny for doing research.
He did all that reading to scour talking points and still got owned.
Sorry, I just saw this on my thing, and it's Taylor Lifts. I'm mutual with this guy on Instagram, and it's Mike Israel criticizing it. Interesting.
I find that to be fucking hilarious. That my man did hours and hours of reading on stream and still is a, one, genocide defender, and two, did a phenomenally bad job.
Bro, if you're so knowledgeable, then talk to him.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because Hasan really, I think it was a good idea. It was the big, like, I'm not going to talk about or to Destiny ever. It's not worth it. I'm not going to give him free clout. And what was it, last year or maybe at the beginning of this year, where he just, or end of last year, I think, but he broke that vow, and now he's talking about him. And it's just so interesting. So just talk to him then. You're clearly kind of spiraling a little bit. Just talk to him at this point. Why not? Like,
engage with his points. He just does the classic Hasan and calls him pro-genocide. It doesn't even mean anything anymore.
Yeah, the G in DGG stands for deranged genocide gnomes. They love it. They love it so much. You're like, ooh. The funniest part about this is that if Destiny wasn't a pro-genocide streamer, they would literally not be either. That's how easily manipulated they are. That's the funniest part. I promise you, if tomorrow he just decided, yeah, this Israel shit has actually gone too far, I'm actually anti-Israel now, like 95%. The rest of the community,
I mean, there might be a level of truth to that, but that's everybody's community. Well, I mean, not everybody's community. I think that would, I don't know. I mean, there's going to be people in the community that go there because they want you to say what they want to hear, and then there's going to be people that go to your community to learn. But then there's also going to be people in your community that will always just listen to what you have to say, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Great. You know,
diehards would absolutely turn around and start advocating for the argument in the opposite direction because they don't have a dog in the fight. They don't have a stake in the fight. They just like.
Well, neither do you. I would argue that Hasan only has the fans that will like want him to say something, and he always leans into those fans. I don't think I've ever seen Hasan have like a legitimate disagreement with his fans over something meaningful in any capacity, ever. I don't think he's ever had a hot take in his life. It's always like I see Destiny do it. He'll piss off his fans constantly, maybe sometimes on purpose, but at least you got to give him credit for that like he's, you know, he doesn't get captured by the audience capture. I mean, when you have Hasan having meltdowns because he's losing subscribers because he changes some of his content to something different, which is very normal, that would happen to somebody if they did that. I mean, you know that like he's desperate for that audience capture. So
shit up.
Bro, you don't have a dog in this fight. He acts like he lives in Gaza and is less privileged than anyone else giving their opinion in the West. You're not. Someone asked why Hasan doesn't just try to convince people instead of demonizing them, and Hasan's brain just melts.
You need to be trying to convince these people of the right thing instead of ostracizing them. Man, suck my fucking dick, dumb fuck. These people are fucking brain broken. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Jesus Christ.
Hasan can't engage with any of Destiny's points. He refuses to debate him on Piers, so now he's reverted to Leafy-style insults. Wow, you're so old.
He's 40 years old, pushing 40.
How old is this guy again? Like 35, 40?
That's what happens.
Got it.
When you're a fucking whole ass 40-year-old.
I don't think that most people care when Destiny starts his research stream. There's a huge dip. I guess. I mean, it's probably because it's just boring, generally speaking.
Swear to God.
I think if I thought that was here for the memes, Hasan is a scared little boy. The only reason he broke his rule about Destiny was because Destiny was gaining real mainstream attention and he got mad and jealous. It's probably true.
This guy's a net negative to the Palestinian cause. In the past, I criticized Hasan for laughing at a cop for getting shot.
Oh, fuck that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Watch out. Are you okay? No, you shot me. Oh, God.
You know, here's my question, okay? Because you see this conversation all the time, guys. It's like, with these women are like, I'd rather choose the bear over the guy. So it's like bear and guy. And it's like, you know what, that is, I'm like, that makes me angry. But then I saw a meme the other day and it said, would you rather bear in the woods or be pulled over by a female cop? I was like, wait a minute. It's all making sense to me now. Now I'm understanding. Now I'm understanding what you're saying. You've convinced me.
Are you okay? Echo 781.
It's so weird how like hard he's forcing the laugh. It's just weird. It's like if you find it funny, fine. But like, why are you forcing? This is not a genuine laugh.
Well, he's finally responded to it, doubling down. No remorse, no surprise. Remember, this guy's a humanitarian.
Watch out. Are you okay? No, you shot me. Oh, God. Are you?
So weird. He sounds like a Goofy movie character, you know?
What the fuck?
Doesn't he? Let me see if I can get that. Let's see if we can get that clip up there. Goofy, yowie sound effect. Is this it? No, this is a rap edit. Isn't it the same fucking thing?
Still good.
He did the same thing.
Still good. Yo, that still bangs, dude. Yo, that's funny as
Hasan loves to push the narrative to his audience that all criticism made towards him is invalid because I'm a drama farmer. Link them to this timestamp. If I am able to farm you for entirely new mistakes you make month after month, whether it's misreporting a hospital bombing.
Israeli military said it did not have any details on the reported bombing. Fuck you. Fuck you, dude.
Frick you, dude.
Why are you? It's ridiculous. Like, oh, Hamas run health ministry. Well, you know how they are. You know how those dirty Arabs are. They lie all the time. You know what I mean? They're probably lying again.
What the fuck?
Acting like a JDAMS expert.
Yeah, you see with the trajectory and the impact there that this was clearly some kind of thing going fast that hit the ground.
So that is a JDAM called on. Do you think that seems similar? You have no evidence. Stop concluding. What is this? What am I looking at? What am I looking at with my own two eyes? What are you looking at?
A missile, one in the dark and one in the light.
I have no evidence? Don't believe your fuck. What do you mean? Does that strike you as a fucking...
No, but it struck there. Sorry, that's inappropriate.
Misfire?
Framing a kid who was complicit in a stabbing as someone who was randomly kidnapped.
13-year-old is innocent, man.
Well, I mean, I don't understand. Like, what is a is it a misfire when you fire it at the wrong spot?
Ridiculous.
But if you just take 2 seconds and Google his name, you'll see that he was running around holding knives with his 15-year-old cousin. His cousin stabbed a 13-year-old Israeli boy and another 21-year-old, glorifying Houthi terrorists by saying they're just like anime pirates.
We think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
Reading tweets is factual-based news, and then when the full story comes out, he gets mad, discrediting it based on nothing. He's done this for years. In every video I made on him, there's something new. Him crying about getting farmed is a massive self-report. The fact that this many videos is even possible to make on him is embarrassing. At the end of the day,
hey, but it's content, baby.
It doesn't really feel like I'm farming him at all. It feels like I'm picking necessary weeds. These criticisms have nothing to do with politics and everything to do with principle. You see, it doesn't matter if you're a libtard or repubtard, because we could all come together in knowing that Hasan is—
Oh, we could definitely come together. There's some attractive conservative women and progressive women. All right, it's a beautiful and some of the progressive women, sometimes you get a little bit of a surprise, if you know what I'm saying. I'm not against a surprise. I want it against me, though. I got that dog in me.
Is just a retard. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Stop saying that word, brother, please.
Subscribe to the channel, and remember to check out Aura. Shout out to the homies over on Patreon, Phoebes, Crimson Glass.
Papa
Christina Vina, Mac Monkey, Trent Kovacs, Necro Valley, Stefan Bildman, Abby Blackbird, The Confusing Opinion, Eddie Bizzle, Tismic Fitz, Christopher H, TV and
I feel like I see that Abby Blackbird person in here every once in a while. That's the name stinks out to me.
Theology Reviews, Kinklemore, Sennial Music, Lucas Sip, ET Automatic, Fay Under,
Come on,
Snoopy
dude.
Poop Doop 2.
Snoopy Boop Doop. I remember that one just from the end of these videos. They're so funny.
And the Mega Homies, Reynolds Hughes, Hellison, IGP, Your Taxi, Latchkey Goth Boy.
Oh, Latchkey Goth Boy. There, you come in here all the time.
Cyber Katie, Lore Reloaded, Papa Gut.
Incredible stuff.